You're not sounding so good. You feeling okay today?
Yeah, no, it's because I work nights.
I got an echo on that one.
Yeah, sorry, I'm holding down the button.
Okay.
Lee, if you need some headphones or something, I have several extra sets.
It'll work itself out. Discord just does that kind of randomly from time to time. Like, I won't change anything, and it'll echo one day, and then it won't echo the next. It's completely random.
And Ormus is having what can only be described as an out-of-world experience right now. If he begins to talk again, I think you all would agree. He either sounds like a Martian from Attack of the Martians, or he sounds like Utaguro. Or maybe Utaguro's younger female cousin. It's very distorted. So, I'm sorry, could you repeat that, Molly Mort?
I said I'm quite curious now because I haven't heard this yet.
I know, I wanted to try again. But it's kind of funny. But while he deals with that, who's got the echo? There, gone. Cool. So, while he deals with that, and also too because it gives me more interest, Aladrin, you were swimming, and swimming, and more swimming, when suddenly, after you had lost all track of time and direction for the most part, and were drifting slowly into insanity as you swam through infinity. Yes. Yes, thank you, Lee.
And I swam. Sorry.
You discovered that, for whatever reason, a possibly friendly, well, you know him as friendly, wizard dwarf had teleported to you and was floating above you and asking you what you doing? Why you swimming? Where's your boat? Where's the fleet?
That way, and I point in a general direction.
Did you lose? I mean, how did you? It sank.
My first boat sank, and I got kicked off my second boat.
Can't imagine what they looked like if they kicked you off, but okay.
I mean, I kind of jumped off.
Yeah. Philvin nods and squints at you. You can feel the weight of his judgment.
Yeah. I'm gonna...
Is he not mad? He's just disappointed?
Yeah.
He's something.
I feel like he's a little frustrated.
There's a lot more echo coming through, Lee.
Yeah, sorry.
It's okay.
I'm thinking it'd be okay if I tried just voice, but I'm gonna try to adjust my sensitivity, I guess.
It's alright.
Philbin, why did you teleport to me?
Well, you were going after Morningstar. I thought you might need some help. You know, doing something. He nods and he says, yeah, clearly. He's just floating along very slowly, keeping up with you, knowing that he can fly much faster, just looking around.
We can't have gotten that far.
He says, would you like me to scout ahead?
I'd appreciate that, so I know I'm not heading in the complete opposite direction.
He goes ahead a little bit and then turns back around and then just kind of floats backwards and looks at you and he says, I'm pretty sure if I scout ahead, even if I do find them, I'll never find you again.
Just tie a rope around the broom and then tie a rope to me.
He says it's not going to work. You're too heavy for the broom.
I'm not too heavy for the broom. I used the broom once upon a time.
Yeah, you and me are too heavy for the broom.
And all those weapons.
Yeah.
Yeah, you definitely acquired more since then.
Yeah.
He says, "Do you have any idea which direction's the closest land?"
Which direction was the boat heading?
Well, the boats were heading. Oh, the boat itself, when it left
Yeah.
you,
Yeah.
it was heading sort of southwest,
Okay.
or southwest, mostly south, but a little southwest.
I point in the general direction of where the boat left or is
Mhm.
heading.
He nods, and he says, and I hope you don't take this the wrong way, but this seems not really fun.
Oh, you mean swimming for at least a day now?
You've been
No,
swimming for a day?
about.
He sighs. He's looking at you. It's like, you. How long do you think you're going to be able to keep this up?
Well, I'm very good with lightning. I assume I can use the lightning to cook fish underwater. And so, kind of indefinitely, because I can breathe underwater.
You are an interesting guy, Aladrin. He nods. He says, well, I cannot breathe underwater.
Well, I don't know what to tell you about that one, Philbin. I can't make you breathe underwater.
He nods. He says, well, I guess I'll go find some land and see you later.
So what? You're not gonna help me take out Morningstar?
I assumed you had a ship and a crew and we would harass them. I
They
show up and you're in the middle of
died.
the ocean. You already lost 2 ships.
They died.
Who died?
The
Morningstar?
crew.
Everybody.
Everybody.
He
They
face
tried-
palms a bit.
They tried to throw a mute in me, and
Oh,
I threw them
how
over.
long? It's been like a week, Aladrin. Not even. You already had a mutiny?
I had a not with my crew. My crew died. It was the crew I took over.
You lost a ship, your crew died, you hijacked another, you had a mutiny on that ship.
Hmm. You're following so far, yes.
What is your plan here exactly? What can I do to help you?
A ref. Nope.
Yeah, help me find Morningstar.
You said they're over there somewhere. He just nonchalantly points off in a direction.
Yeah, we can't be that far.
He says, so if I find them for you, tell you they're going in that direction, you'll be happy.
I would appreciate it, yes.
He nods, and he says, okay. Let me see here. He tries to think, what do I have that can help me find you again when there are 0 landmarks? And he thinks to himself and consults his book of spells. Unless anyone else has any ideas that he might know that I don't, because I got to look at the wizard spell list and figure out what in the hell he can maybe do to be able to find Aladrin again.
Do they get locate creature?
I don't know.
Aladrin spell.
Does locate creature even apply to humanoids?
I don't know.
Yeah. Describe or name a creature.
So you can say elf, and
Yeah.
all the elves would pop up. I think it's only in a very small range, though.
It's 1,000 feet. It's
I don't
not.
think there are gonna be any other elves around, so okay.
Yeah, there's an extremely limited possibility of that. I don't think he has locate creature though.
It is on the wizard spell list.
Yeah,
And
but he doesn't have every wizard spell.
Yeah, its material component is a bit of fur from a bloodhound.
Well, that's not a problem. He's good at spell focus. Hmm.
If I see him off in the distance, I could shoot up magic missiles.
Or you could
He
cast
says, no, that is a thought. That is a thought. Hmm. He says, well, here's kind of a strange idea. He could cast Tiny Hut.
Okay.
It would remain stationary, and it would give you a place to rest a moment and be dry if you wanted to. But I don't know if you'd be able to find it again. Oh man, this is a tough one. But yeah, he continues to think about that. Meanwhile, several thousand miles away, basically the Earth and the roads, they go from kind of a smooth paved stones to rough stones to graveled earth, and now little more than rocky trail as you run further and further afield. Where are you going, man?
I'm headed for the edge of the woods nearest the lake.
Okay, so you're going for Lake Kyle. Yeah, on your way there, I mean, you're just going straight in.
No, I'm doing circuitous dodging in and out, but doing my best to not be found.
Yeah, I mean the most direct route is, basically dead south and then cuts over west. But you can cut through the woods to aid it and things like that. But as you go through some of the outlying farmlands and pass by a whole bunch of things. I mean, what is your ultimate goal as you go?
I want to get to where I can see the cabin to check and see if it's swarming with guards yet.
Okay, fair enough. Now you are able to, after a time, making your way through the woods, because there doesn't seem to be anywhere really or anyone really around here. You're able to peek through, and you can see in this early day. There's looks to be a couple of people on the lake. It's kind of nice. And as you continue to look, you can see that the cabin is there. It is standing. There's some white smoke drifting from a bit of a spout of a chimney. And a lot of the rest of the town seems quite active. You don't see Udaguro. You don't see anyone that you especially recognize. A little town here.
I will cast Disguise Self while still on the tree line as Jacob.
Okay.
And I'm going to approach the cabin and knock on the door.
Okay. I will just put this out there. You might know that might be at least marginally risky, knowing that Jacob's supposed to be at the cabin. So I'm just saying, it might confuse some people. But if you're cool with it, I'm cool with it.
Yeah, I fully plan on having, when the door opens, having to explain myself.
Mm-hmm. Indeed. So you make your way to the cabin. No one seems to pay you any attention whatsoever from the town. And you get up to the cabin, and you just give it a knock, or do you barge in?
I knock with urgency.
You knock with urgency. I imagine it's a continuous thumping that starts quick and a little bit, rather quick and somewhat soft to disguise it, but just gets stronger and stronger and more urgent as it goes.
Yeah, that's perfect.
Eventually rising to open the damn door level of knocking. And soon enough, the door is opened, and on the other side, you can see a bleary-eyed Captain Morgan and Morgan. Oh, I thought you were already in. And he steps aside to let you in.
I step in. I'm filmed. I'm not trying to disguise my voice at all. I'm filmed. Some shit went down. You guys need to get the hell out of here. But I need swords. I need weapons. I need weapons. I need weapons.
He takes a moment, kind of looks at you a little, he kind of turns his head to the side a little bit, but keeps his eyes focused on you. And he goes, "It's a little early for a prank."
Look, this isn't a prank. We don't have, Oramus and I got into some trouble, and the guards are after us. They think that we're up to some shit. Which, I don't know how much I can say.
He holds up his hand, and he says, "Is this real? You're Theon. We're calling to duty. We're going active."
I mean, I don't want to put you guys up against a guard, but like a whole town guard. But yeah, this is real.
You can see him grin, and he goes, "All right, let's do this." And he grabs two pans and he starts smashing them together, going to the doors. And he goes, "Time to get up, boys! We're going back to the duty!" And he, basically smashes these things together enough to be able to wake everyone up in the entire cabinet. You can immediately hear screaming from Mark, which is, let's be honest, to be somewhat expected. But everyone else, in quick order, you can hear them moving around, thumping. You hear the occasional, "What, really?" And yes, get your armor, And you can see that they quickly are breaking out, basically lifting up floorboards and bringing out chests, and they're breaking out various armors and weapons, passing them around. And soon enough, everything is going. They're basically saying, I'm sorry, we don't have much of a stockpile. All we've got is what we've got, but you're welcome to it, sir."
That's
you
fine.
Essentially can see a couple of bows, which is not much, a decent longsword, a couple of short swords, a couple of daggers, an axe. That's about it.
Too bad Aladrin isn't there. He is the walking armory.
I know, more would fall out of his pocket.
I take a dagger and slip it into my belt. Not my belt, not the front, but like where someone would put a gun in a movie if they were,
If they didn't know what they were doing. Got it. Ready to fall down and have that sucker go right up your ass. Understood.
Yeah, exactly. And I'll grab a long sword and a short sword.
Okay, you grab the long sword and the short sword, and you can see Captain Morgan and Morgan at the Morganland Morgans kind of look down and grab the short sword. Presumably that was either for Jameson or Smith, and then Jameson and Smith Rochambeau, or rather rock, paper, scissors over the remaining dagger, while Ricky Forrester just works the bow. And they look, ready a little bit. You can see that they definitely had to loosen some of the straps on some of the armor, but whatever. They got it on, and they are ready to go. Not very armed, but ready to go. And Morgan & Morgan gets them to attention, and they're ready and standing full. Mark is just... Mark and Jacob eventually come out, having not responded well to the revelry. And Mark opens the door, sees you, looks back, sees presumably Jacob, and then turns back, and then immediately starts to cast a spell at you. I'll give you a chance. Do you want to say anything as soon as you see Mark before he, does something?
Yes, but also can I do a slight retcon and say that I grabbed two short swords because I realize longsword is strength based and I am dex based.
Okay, you grab the two short swords. Morgan & Morgan is happy with his longsword, and the rock, paper, scissors over the dagger still curse.
Okay, yeah, and I'll just... Oh, wait! This is the shit went down. I'm feeling. Don't do it. Hold on.
Yeah, you can see that he just instantaneously went to the position for burning hands. which would have possibly killed everyone in the room, not to mention burned down the entire cabin. But he's looking at you and he says, "Tell me something only Fion would know."
Out of character, Mark is the man-child,
Is the
correct?
bolsterous sorcerer man-child? Yes.
Mark is an unhealthy attachment to you.
Huh? No, I mean Mark is saying that.
Oh,
Mark is asking
okay,
you.
Yeah.
Tell me something real Fion would know.
You have an unhealthy attachment to Jacob.
Everyone knows that.
You were really sad when I came in here a couple of days ago, and then Jacob followed in behind me.
Never happened. Anyone could know that. I don't know you're real.
Fine.
Jacob comes over and just kind of puts his hand on him, and he's like, "Calm down." And Mark says, "Fine, but I don't trust you." And he's pointing at you. And Jacob is a bit unsettled seeing you as him, so he actually just no, I don't think he would change into his normal self. I think he'll just stay how he is. But you can definitely tell he's unsettled by seeing you in the form that he pretends to be.
Yeah, sorry, because I'm not trying to disguise my voice at all. Sorry, I didn't want anybody to see me walk in here because I don't know what's about to go down, but something's about to go down, and, yeah. Basically, we have the whole town guard after us, and I'm trying to expedite this pretty quick. You know, I'm not trying to put you guys against the whole ass town guard, but they're gonna come for
You
me
can
and
see
Ormus.
Jacob quickly goes over to his pack and says, "I can get the teleport circle up in about 10 minutes. Can you cover us for 10 minutes?"
I think I can do 10 minutes. That should be enough
All
time
right.
for Ormus.
Where are we going?
Honestly, I don't know. I didn't.
To Aladrin.
I didn't plan on teleporting out. I just came here because I knew I needed to get weapons. Honestly, I don't want to leave without my stuff. Ivy and Kudzu and all of my daggers, everything is back at the my daggers are in my coat, which I left at Walter's old house. Oh my god, I'm rambling. I'm so nervous right now. This is fuck.
Mark comes over and puts a hand where your shoulder's supposed to be, which really just kind of hits in near your elbow. And he says, "Don't worry, Lee, it'll be okay. All's gonna be well. All's fine." And he just like pets you a little bit, trying to soothe you.
I'm okay, and I take a second and gather myself. I don't think we should teleport out. I think this is something that we have to deal with head on, but they had Ormus and I in the gallows. Like,
apply directly to the forehead?
Yeah. We have to deal with this directly. We need to talk to them. Honestly, my plan was to take a couple hours, whatever the in-character term for take a short rest would be, gather myself, get my ability to cast certain things back, and go in hidden and try and maybe talk to somebody who can fix this.
Mm-hmm. Well, let's pause there a moment. Even though even though we're still waiting on Ormus, Mollymore, where would you be taking Ormus?
Oh, I was following Fion.
Indeed, you were. And you were not too far behind. Go ahead and make a perception check at advantage to be able to follow his scent when you get further away from the city.
I mean, being a dire wolf, I already had advantage.
Well, that's why I'm giving you the advantage.
Oh, okay.
Because before it simply neutralized it because you're in a very, very crowded, and so you would have had disadvantage, but you were fine. Now you have advantage.
Well, that advantage was good because my first roll was a nat 1, and after rolling second, I got dirty 20.
Okay, well, that is significantly better. It does take a little bit longer, but you are able to see that he is going towards the town, or rather, the small town of, like that town is called Vineland? Yeah, Vineland. And you are able to see that or rather, able to detect he probably went to the cabin that has all the rest of the retainers. Ormus, you there? You there? We're hearing something.
We hear background noise at the very least.
Yeah.
Alright, so it sounds like it's just my headphones. Someone joined the Discord, that channel that I was in, and it sounded like he was, or looked like he was talking. I could see his bubble lighting up, but I didn't hear anything from him, so it seems like it's just my headphones with Discord.
Darn, that is unfortunate.
Yeah, it's fucking stupid.
Well, we'll try to figure that out another time. So no Discord, it goes all back and forth. Well, I got you.
Just fine.
Yeah, I hear you. While I've got you, one, there's a lot of background noise, so we'll probably be muting you at some point. No offense. Two, you and Mollymort were able, rather, mostly Mollymort and you being an accompaniment, more of a kind of a. Sorry, the background noise is throwing me off. You're more of a decoration on the direwolf that is Mollymort currently. But you were able to find your way towards the cabin. Mollymort, when you get there and you're pretty sure Fionn went there, do you want to return to your scent, or rather, excuse me, to your form, or continue with Direwolf, or wait outside at Direwolf?
I'm going to stop at the edge of it and look up at Ormus.
And Ormus, you can kind of tell from the location that you were brought, and from the way Mollymort was sniffing, that she probably followed Fionn here, and that this is the place where he probably is, if you are so inclined to go in. Fingers crossed he'll come back. Okay. With Ormus coming in, Ormus, you see Mark, Morgan and Morgan, all the guards, two Jacobs, and they're arming themselves, and everything seems to be going well there. I mean, sort of. There's two Jacobs, which is weird, but whatever. And Fionn, Ormus comes in. Mollymort, do you stay outside?
No, I'm gonna try to come in as well. Still
Okay.
in the dark.
Well, that's a good question. You're not quite sure what they're arming for. You can certainly ask why both Jacobs are arming themselves, or why everyone else is arming, who knows. But as you've got a lot of people and a direwolf slowly coming in. I'm assuming you encourage them to let Fionn.
Yeah, I'll probably assume that Ormus followed by a wolf is Ormus and Molly. And,
Yeah.
I'm gonna walk straight up to you, sniff you, then rub up against you.
What do you look like?
I'm a dark colored direwolf with my signature heart on my head in a white, or in a lighter.
Okay. Yep.
Yeah, with that roll, you definitely go up to the correct Jacob. So no worry there. But yeah.
Well, both Jacobs are the correct Jacob.
Well, one's more correct than the other in this context. But yeah, you can.
Does Jacob finally realize how wonky he looks?
He might be having to deal with this. Like, you don't see a lot of mirrors in this sort of a setting, and him seeing that, he's probably thinking, "Do I look like that?" Okay, I see. But this is a very now packed cabin. Everything is very enclosed what would you all like to do? Fionn, you were laying out a plan of action that you wanted to be able to take a moment's rest. Armus, you can gather that they're likely arming because one of these disguised individuals is Fionn and told them to arm. But yeah.
I'm gonna sit beside Fiona with my tail wagging.
All right. You sit. And in terms of a direwolf, I mean, how big are you as a direwolf? Probably pretty big.
Pretty
They're
big.
large.
Yeah. No, that's fine. Yeah, you can certainly sit next to him where he is standing, just taking up a large amount of real estate. Relatively cozy cabin. Jacob will make the point that it's probably best, even if we don't activate it, to at least get a teleportation circle drawn and ready to go in case we need it.
Yeah, I agree, but that would be good. But I certainly think that Ormus, Molly, and myself should make ourselves scarce for a little while, because I'd imagine that the town guards know that you guys have some association for me, well, or to us, and will want to question you.
They nod, and basically, yeah, they nod. They think about this a moment, and one of the guards says that we don't have to deal with being questioned if we're not here.
Apparently, direwolves can weigh about almost a ton.
Yeah, I figured as much. Or I must make a survival check, or maybe a perception check, or a nature check. So yeah, Fionn. Looks like probably Smith is the one making the argument that if we just go, I mean, what even happened?
Well, we were trying to do something for the Queen, which involved being, scouting out the top of the castle, and Ormus used a spell to get on top of it. And long story short, he ended up caught and in shackles, and then they came to question us, and in my efforts of telling them what, quite frankly, is a semi-false story, they decided that I was to be on trial too, and when we went up for trial, and I air quotes around trial, it was just a gallows, and they began to put the nooses around our necks, and I don't like that, so we ran.
Mark says, yeah, That's perfectly reasonable reason to run. I mean, they'd run at least. But yeah, they are just standing there, ready. What do you want us to do?
I mean, honestly, and out of character, you guys correct me if you think I'm wrong, but I feel like if you guys want to teleport out, then go for it. Molly and Ormus can as well, but I feel like we need to face this head on, and I say that even though my plan is to stealth in and work my way into talking to someone important, but
yeah, I think this needs to be taken care of, but don't forget about all your other NPCs. Like Real and, what was it? Not Zadra. Zadra? Zelra.
Yeah, Real and Zilra.
And the most important, Udagoro.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we have a few people in town, and I, at the very least, cannot live with it on my conscience that we left the place in the state that we left it in.
And they nod. Mark kind of looks at everybody and is like, "The fuck are we gonna do then?"
Like I said, you guys can teleport out if Ormus and Molly wish to as well. That's up to them. But I'm going back after a couple of hours in the cover of night with some with this spell currently up. Once I get my use of it back.
Jacob shrugs and starts drawing a teleport circle. Let's see here. So,
well, Ormus, my plan is stealthing in and getting word to our contact. Look at him knowingly when I say that, because I don't want to say the queen outright in front of them, because keeping them with a bit of what's the word I'm looking for?
Ability.
Yeah, giving them a bit of deniability is great, and hoping that she can help us. If not, then unfortunately, I think if we don't want to die, we have to get out of here. But
Molly going to start like stomping her paws anxiously because she just realized that you guys don't know that Real is in there.
yeah.
Well, I definitely want to get my stuff back too. I have some things that have sentimental value in there, but that's not.
You can see the dire wolf getting kind of a little upset beside you, beyond just saying.
I look down. What's wrong? What's going on?
Can you understand her?
No, you can understand me as an animal, but not vice versa.
Alright, I thought it was a Furbolg thing that you could understand animals. Okay. She'll start like spinning in circles because she just doesn't know how to express herself.
Needs to go out.
Yeah, I was about to say.
Cookie.
Mark will probably open the door for you, Molly Mort.
She doesn't want to go outside.
Out of character. God, I need to quit saying that. You as a wolf are upset because you know that Real went back into the guard barrack or castle, whatever. I forget exactly what it was that we were being held in, right?
Yeah, and you guys don't know that, and she wants to tell you, but she doesn't want to leave her wild.
Yeah. Quick question. Do druids get wild shapes back at long rest or short rest?
Short rests.
Short rest? Then Fionn is planning to take a short rest in the woods, not necessarily setting up camp, but Fionn's plan was to climb a tree and wait a couple hours, get his spells back, take a short rest, and then go in at night. So you'll have time.
I very much could use a long rest if I'm going to go with you. I still have a point of exhaustion.
Mm-hmm. Oh, which means I should have given it to you at a disadvantage, which means it would have eliminated the advantage. Okay, well, good to remember. So, Ormus, I'll throw this at you while you look around for components where you're looking around specifically for some kind of a caterpillar cocoon, or you probably even settle for, something along those lines. Yeah, unfortunately, it's just a little too cold in the season. You can't seem to be able to find anyone new or old. But the rest of you, still within the cabin.
Well, I say we find a nice, cozy, very hidden spot, dense forestry, and make ourselves scarce until nightfall.
Down with a little wine.
You guys, like I said, you can teleport out. Honestly, that might be best for you. We have to go back and take care of the people that we left in the city.
They nod, and they said, "Well, we've been interested in getting back to Picata anyway." And you can still see that Jacob is working on drawing a circle. Ormus comes back and asks if anyone has any gum. Any particular type of gum, Ormus? Like tree gum or like spruce gum? Chewing gum. Well, yeah, but it comes from trees. So, like spruce gum or... Okay, whatever.
See, this is
Invisibility spell.
this is why I'm glad that I can use my weapons as a focus.
Yeah. Well, let me see here. Invisibility. An eyelash. I have no idea what gum Arabic is. Interesting. Yeah, no. Although, the alchemists would definitely have some of this stuff. It's a kind of binder.
As in, what's their fucking names? Clever reference.
It's not that clever, but yeah, Walter and Jesse.
Yeah, there we go.
Walter and Jesse would definitely have the gum, and you could put an eyelash in the gum, and then you'd have your components. Hey man, I'm just telling you.
Ormus, I spent some time in the woods. If you have anything that you might need for casting, I know that was my main priority. Is I can maybe help you look for it.
Yeah, he was trying to look for a cocoon, but it's too cold in the season, and he just couldn't find one. Not a used one, not an active one. It's just not there yet. But yeah, he can't find much in the way. He can't find the specific type of gum that's been processed fully, although that is definitely available to the alchemists. He might be able to start ripping off some bark and processing it, but that'll take some time. And that's assuming he's got proficiency in some sort of alchemy or herbalism.
I mean, I do have proficiency with alchemist tools, but I would assume my alchemist tools are back at Waldo's house
Wherever you may have left whatever stuff, yeah.
Yeah. Because I remember specifically taking off my hat and jacket before we were jumped. And then I would imagine that probably my gear is there as well. If it hasn't been confiscated already.
Yeah.
I forget, did I still have the Eye of the Shroud with me, or did I hand it off to Orin?
Huh. That's a good question. I think he... Oh, man. Yeah, I now that you say it, the Eye of a Shard, I don't know, did you? I know you had it for real. I don't think you handed it off, but or rather you had it and you were looking at it with Zilra. Did you give it to Fion?
I don't recall.
If you did give it to me, I would probably still have it on me because it's a necklace, right? I would have tried to slyly not take it off if the guards didn't make me when I disarmed.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Alright. Then Molly is going to use her paw to draw an eye on the ground. Because I'm not sure she realizes that he gave it to Fion and that he hasn't yet.
Oh yeah, that's right. He did give it to me because magical passageways and shit. Because I was doing ground scouting. Yeah. Okay.
So you've got it. And remember, they didn't take your equipment. You surrendered your weapons, and that was it.
Yeah. Well, I just imagined that, like, I because I pretty much always keep at least my whips on me, and I didn't have time to take my swords off before they got there. So. Yeah, I guess I'll see the eye, and unless that requires a check to interpret what she means by drawing an eye.
Maybe make an intuition or like an insight. Just curious to see if you fail it, like really, really badly. Beyond that, it's might only take a moment.
I think he has like a +9 to insight.
12.
Okay. Yeah, you think eye, the eye. That's right, the eye. And yeah, you can pull out the eye and look at it.
Yeah, I'll like kind of hold it out and then just like make as if I'm going to put it around her neck, but she's a dire wolf, and that I don't know if it'll fit.
Yeah, not really. No.
I've got conflicting answers on how big a dire wolf is.
I'm assuming really big.
Yeah, I want to say most likely over 1,000 pounds, not over 180.
So, like,
I was thinking it would be like the size of a smaller bear.
Okay.
very more muscular horse
Molly,
that isn't structured like a hand.
we'll have some time to rest if you want to, because this is honestly this is just making communication rough right now. If you want to turn back to your form, I don't really know how your stuff works.
Jacob finishes the circle and says, "Do you want us to stick around, or should we just?"
You may leave if you wish to.
Morgan and Morgan, he leaves the sword, the long sword, essentially leaning against the wall, and they take off the arrows and the bow as well, and leave it. And just as they're about to leave, Smith runs over and grabs a couple of the pouches of who knows what herbal implements or whatever that they had, and quickly runs back into the circle. And Jacob waves, Mark flicks you off, and they just poof, disappear.
I missed them already.
All right.
The room is much more open now.
All right.
Well, it's a bit, but she does sigh and turn back into it.
Fionn hands her the necklace. All right, so we should get out of here. Chances are they know that they were associated with us and they were staying out here. They're gonna be here any minute. I would be willing to put money on that. Yeah, let's get out of here, gather ourselves, and then go back at nightfall.
Okay, so I kind of followed you guys over to the place, and also I kind of brought Real with me, and he kind of went in disguised as somebody fancy, and I don't know what's happened to him.
Shit! The bow! And Fionn walks over to the bow that was propped against the wall and takes a quiver of arrows as well. And well, we can't let that we can't let that happen if you didn't see him come out. He's surely gunning for the bow. Oh God.
Also, I didn't sleep. I'm really tired.
Yeah, he's probably gonna get away with the bow. I mean, honestly, like,
Well, that wouldn't be so bad because it's probably easier to get it from him than from wherever they're trying to keep it.
I mean that's fair, but also like the more time we give him to get away, the harder it's going to be to track him. But honestly, we all need at the very least, a short rest. I know Oramus and I, we gain our spells back quickly. Molly, you don't as quickly, but
I mean, I already took a little rest when I was hoping you guys would come out, and I got some spells back from that, but I can't do that again until I take a nice long sleep.
I mean, I guess we have to take 8 hours then. If if you need your full 8 hours, we definitely need everybody to be on top of their game for this.
Well, I'm not entirely spent.
And of course, Ormus is saying that, it's probably best if we do rest. And Ormus, I'll remind everyone, is basically naked and completely unarmed.
And thankfully not sitting on me anymore.
That's true.
Ormus, I'm sure.
And still in chains, I'll add. He's still shackled. He looks pretty rough. He's just got a blanket wrapped around him initially. But anyway, just drawing that image. Yeah, he's just been pacing, clink, 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 clink.
Would
To look.
so when you freeze metal, like, would it basically, if I cast frostbite on his shackles, do you think it would help to break them?
I know a fun way to find out.
Oh God. Well, it specifically says on a creature, is why I'm asking. Would I even be able to cast them on the shackles?
Is it damage that's added as part of an attack?
No. You cause numbing frost to form on one creature that you can see within range. The target must make a con save. On a failed save, it takes 1d6. It has disadvantage on the next weapon attack.
It's too bad you guys don't have any buff boys with a hammer or an axe.
I know, right? What school of magic is that? I'm just curious.
Evocation.
Evocation, yeah. It's tricky. I don't know how much of that is coming from the individual and how much is being put in from sort of manipulation to it. It says does 1d6 damage?
It would do
1d6 frost.
It would be 2d6 for me, because warlock spell slots.
Mm-hmm. I'll let you make an attack against it to see if it's effective. The issue is it can't make a saving throw.
Yeah.
So we'll just consider it like a spell attack, and you'll roll for it and see how you do against steel.
Okay.
If it's your wisdom, it's going to be a crazy high plus, I assume.
Yeah, it's a plus
I hope
9.
So. Very nice.
And 11. Cool.
Yeah, as you try to focus on it, it's just you're not able to have much of an effect on it.
Well, the great thing about this is you can continually try to freeze it, so you can actually build on it, maybe. Because the manacles definitely have disadvantage on their attacks against you now.
Yeah, I was going to say. Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. I was like, maybe I was gonna say maybe if we both. I know we both have this spell. Maybe if we both try Eldritch Blast against it.
Do y'all want to do that while in the cabin?
I would definitely say that we move outside, at least on the porch of the cabin.
You don't think it'll draw attention? A couple guys blasting off, trying to break these shackles off?
Well, I mean,
one of them being naked and the other one being a weird-looking half-elf freak.
That's fair enough.
Who's blasting beams out of his, a foot above his arm.
Couple of guys can't hang into the woods, blasting off beams, naked, at each other.
But it's just weird.
We should, yeah.
I mean, this isn't a great neighborhood, but, whatever. You might be able to find, because you are near a town, you could perhaps reconnect with Utaguro, who might be nearby. He might be able to use his influence to maybe some of these tradespersons can break it off, or you can just blast it, try it, see what happens.
Somebody around here might be able to pick locks.
That's true. There's certainly some unsavory people.
Yeah, I agree with. Yeah, the less people who know about us being here right now, the better.
Mm-hmm.
I say we try blasting it in here, because oh god, I hate this, but our options are limited. Let's go for it.
Okay, start blasting. Somebody roll. There is not a basement. No, this is a relatively small and cozy cabin. They barely had enough room for the people that were here.
We sent them away, and then we're basically setting off an explosion in their house.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, if you guys are worried about it, you can keep trying to freeze it. Like, one of the advantages of not being in combat is you can just keep using something and
Well,
get
to
like.
be, yeah, but to be fair, they might never be back. So, no big deal. Mark certainly didn't like it here.
I'm gonna be casting guidance on whoever it seems relevant.
Is guidance going to apply to the attack?
I don't know.
I think it's just skill.
Yeah, I think Bless is the one that applies to
Yeah,
attacks.
just ability checks.
Yeah.
I'll ask Ormus to hold his hands up and pull the chain taut.
You rolled an unnatural 20? Ormus apparently blasted himself off. With the back end. Alright. A 20 does hit. Roll damage.
Mine were a 26 and a 24.
You roll damage too, then. Both of those hit.
I think manacles only have, is it 12 or 15 HP? I don't remember. I should know.
Somewhere in there.
I'm supposed to know this because I have a pair of manacles with my background.
Mm-hmm.
I rolled a 9 damage total for mine.
Nice. So with a combination of, so you had 9 damage total,
Yeah.
and Ormus had 10. With the combination of all of the hits and everything together, you are able to break these manacles. Now, were you going for the chain between them or the actual cuffs?
I was going for the chain because I wanted as little damage to Ormus as possible.
Okay. So,
yeah.
technically speaking,
I'll be fine. Oh my god.
I don't know. I think committing to the manacles hanging off of your wrist is kind of an aesthetic.
technically speaking, 9 points isn't enough to break the chain, and 5 points on each wrist isn't enough to break the cuffs. So they are not broken yet, but you can see that they are well worn. Would you all like to take another hit? It looks like they're really close on the cusp.
I mean, if
somewhat battered.
If you insist on the cuffs, Ormus, I'll do it again.
I love how you guys resort to multiple spell uses. Now coming up on 4 and 5 instead of just trying to pick it somehow.
Well, like we'd have to find something to pick it with.
Exists as far as we know.
Yeah, so you want to try smashing them against something? Is there anything we can smash them against?
Yeah, I mean you can. There's a couple of tools. There's an axe. There's all kinds of stuff. You can. I mean, if you miss on the manacle with an axe, it'll probably be a problem. But you know, whatever.
Is it like a wood cutting axe? Like, does it have 2 blades, like a dual-headed blade, or does it have a flat?
More of a maul, technically.
Okay, yeah. Then we'll use.
So blade on one end, kind of hammer on the other.
Yeah, I will use the hammer end to try and bash them.
Okay. Do you want to go for the chains or for the cuffs? Keeping in mind, if you go for the cuffs, yeah, if you miss bad enough, you're probably going to hit Ormus's hands.
Yeah, I'll go for the cuffs.
Okay, for the chain?
For the cuff.
Oh, for the cuff? Okay.
Yeah. I don't know what to add.
The worst that could happen is it just breaks a hand.
Yeah, this would be a strength, wouldn't it? Since it's kind of hammered.
Yep.
I have no
Are you
bonus to
proficient?
that.
Are you proficient with? Okay, no bonus as well. Nice.
Well, he's also a large creature. Well, he's not a large creature. He's only got a powerful build, so that doesn't. Shit. Okay. Yeah, he's a medium with powerful build. That doesn't count for things like this.
I'm proficient with martial and simple weapons. The hammer is one of those, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, so I can at least add my proficiency. That's a 12.
Okay. The good news is you only miss. You don't break his hand. Would you like to try again?
Yeah.
Ormus is like, yeah, do it.
Oh god, I just broke Ormus's hand.
What'd you roll?
I rolled a 6.
Okay. Roll a D100. I'm gonna let you know. You went over a 25.
High for a left hand, low for the right hand.
Oh god, that's an 18. Fuck.
Good news. It's it's somewhat easier. You're using the blunt end, right?
Yeah.
Okay, that's good. Ormus, make a dexterity saving throw. As you see that he doesn't really seem to have it. If you want to make a dexterity saving, 13. Oh yeah. I'm guessing you're going after his right hand or his left hand. Cuff.
I would assume probably whatever I know his dominant hand to be.
Whatever his dominant hand is. Nice. Ormus, are you right-handed?
I know that's horrible to say, but
Okay. All right. Yeah, Ormus. Your right wrist is now broken. And the cuff is still on. It is very painful.
Try and pull it out. Your wrist is broken. You should be fine.
Point where everybody starts to develop more of a sincere respect for Aladrin and Lee using big, heavy, blunt weapons.
Molly is very much cringing at seeing Ormus's wrist, and she's gonna give him a quick, gentle cure.
Okay.
But I only did it at first level, so it's only.
At this point, it's not so much about the hit points. He would probably benefit more if someone was to make a medicine check to set his wrist, set his bones.
Okay, I'll do that then.
Okay, go ahead and make a medicine check. He's still in the cuffs. You were saying, Fion?
I was just gonna ask what Molly's medicine is because I have a +5 to medicine.
I think.
7.
A 7?
+7.
Oh, okay.
And I rolled a 19, so that's 26.
Okay, with an unsettling crunch, mostly audible to Ormus, but even worse, audible to some others, she pulls on Ormus's hand with a tremendous amount of pain, and is able to set the wrist so that it's not so bad, but it's definitely going to need some further attention and maybe a splint. While the hit points can certainly help, the disabling effects will apply until either more powerful magics come into play or some further rest or something is done.
Molly Mort's smiling, but she looks very visibly pale after having done this.
Yeah, that's fair. I don't know if anybody's had a wrist set or set a wrist. It's unsettling.
Alright, well, we're definitely going after the chains since we'll need to leave the cuff on you to probably makeshift into a splint.
Ormus gives you a thumbs up with a painful expression with a broken wrist.
Give him some milk.
Yeah, so we're definitely going after the chains. You're gonna need to leave those cuffs on probably since that's the only thing holding your wrist together currently. Yeah, if fuck, I guess hold the chains out and we'll do another, spell against them because that's the only thing that seemed to have worked so far.
Yeah, you stick with what you're good at.
Yeah, Molly's gonna say, yeah, I've taken care of the village kids. It's fine. I've done this before.
And
You could
once
hit the. You could probably have a pretty good chance of hitting the cup too. I mean, you did pretty well with the Eldritch Blast. You just didn't do enough damage overall. All right, Armis seems to want to hit the cuffs with the Eldritch Blast. Do you want to aid Fion?
yeah,
Okay, go for it.
The one on the not broken wrist. I'm not sure if it's safe to do it on the one that is broken.
I assume Ormus is like putting his hands towards each other and is just doing boom boom one each.
for me that was a 14 and a 21.
Okay. The 14 misses, but the 21 does hit and doesn't affect. And when I say miss, it's morely that it just doesn't have an effect. But the 21 does. So go ahead and roll damage on it. And you're going after the cuffs. Which cuff?
Probably the right one.
Okay.
And that's 5 damage to it.
All right. It looks almost broken open to the point where maybe you might even be able to just rip it open by hand. But another blast would almost certainly open it up.
Yeah, I'm just gonna look at Ormus. You good with me trying to wrench this open by hand? I don't want to fuck up with. We've had really bad luck here with this.
It is on your. It's not even hitting you per se. It's mostly hitting the thing. But if you try to wrench open the wrist, oh, that's gonna hurt. It's like ripping off a cast. It hurts. You're not even. It hurts for me to watch it. You guys are making me watch this. This is a torture scene.
With Ormus's protest, Fionn will sigh and ready, make his hand motions for another Eldritch Blast.
Okay, go for it.
That's a 16 and a 25.
The 25 doesn't. It has an effect. Go ahead and roll damage for the 25.
9 damage.
Okay, with 9 damage, you blast the cuff off, and Ormus, your broken wrist is free. The other one's still manacled with mostly damaged manacles, basically still held with mostly damaged manacles. But your right hand is free now, so there's that. You want to break the left one off too? I am almost certain you won't destroy his hand.
I'll go for one more. If it doesn't work, then it doesn't work. But we need to get the hell out of here.
All right. Yeah.
Very anxiously.
The entire time, luckily, the noise isn't too much. It's not likely that much is going on outside.
Okay, I rolled very well this time. I got a 27 and a 28.
All right, roll damage for both.
Thought you can muffle Ormus screaming.
I know, right? Well, he's a pretty tough guy. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I believe it.
That's a 16. He will be after this.
With that, you're able to blast off the other cuff, and the manacles fall to the ground. And Ormus is free.
Yeah.
I'm imagining that he goes, yeah, and he it falls off.
Can I look around for things to make a splint?
Yes, certainly. There's not really much in the way of first aid supplies, although suspects that some of the things here could be used as some sort of pain relievers. But you could find there's plenty of wood here that can be fashioned into a splint, a fair amount of fabrics. And Ormus, there is clothes here. The clothes that the guards had been accumulating.
I'll say to Ormus, "Go find you some clothes. I'll start getting you a splint ready so that at least won't be as painful to move."
All right. Ormus is able to get dressed. You have very few options in terms of clothing. It's very simple and plain. A lot of it is homespun, and there are sweaters. Good. I hope so. It was very painful. But you all are able to fashion the splint. But meanwhile, in the muddy sea, Philbin looks over to Aladrin and says, would you be amenable to flying?
Sure, I can, if it'll get me to Morningstar faster.
And he says, well, it'll get you faster than you can swim, but we can be together for at least a little while.
Sure.
It'll only last about 10 minutes. Just stay low in case when I lose it, you fall.
Yeah.
All right. And he kind of leans down and puts a hand on your head and reads a little bit from a spell book. And soon enough, you feel that you're able to lift yourself out of the water. Yes, Ormus, both cuffs have been removed. But yeah, you are now able to fly, Ormus, or rather Aladrin,
All right.
for 10 minutes.
I'm going to fly up, and I'm just going to see if I can see Morningstar.
Make a perception check. Alright. No.
That is a 21.
Okay. How high up do you go?
Flight speed is what, 60 feet?
Yes.
So probably 2 rounds, so 240 feet up.
Okay. You go up a bit. You can't really, as you search the horizon, you can't see them. You don't know if it's because you're not high enough or because you just can't see them.
Okay.
And Philbin is with you the whole way.
Yeah. After that, I'm just gonna start flying like downwards at an angle to where I thought they were going.
Okay. Just going as fast as you can.
Yeah.
All right. You charge and charge and charge ahead and fly and fly and fly and fly and fly and fly. And amazingly, you soon are able to, you think, see shapes ahead, probably ships. You're pretty darn certain they look to be maybe 2 miles away.
All right. How long do I have left on flying now at this point?
Indeed. So let's see how far you'd be able to go with a full flight. Sorry, I'm converting to miles per hour. Okay, so you're flying at about 7 miles per hour,
Okay.
and you've got 10 minutes. So you can make it about a mile. You've been going for about 3 minutes now, so you could maybe get like half the distance to the fleet before fly would cut out.
Okay.
And as you get closer to, you can see. You think there's an island ahead. You don't know if part of them are stationed there, or it might even be possible that they're not even related to the fleet. Now that you think about it, but as you no floaty, as you get closer and closer, you can see more and more ships. It appears that for whatever reason, the fleet has stopped at an island.
I don't know how, but you definitely need the volcano to go off.
Yeah. So they're taking up it's a big fleet. I assume they're taking up like the entire dock space.
There doesn't appear to be a dock. They seem to be spread out, and they
Okay.
seem to be. I mean, this island itself
Hmm.
doesn't really appear. I mean, from your perspective, okay, fairly big island, I guess. But as you're approaching towards it, I mean, they don't seem to be. It's not any sort of a dock. They just seem to be spread out. Where before, again, you had seen them on a couple of times now, where essentially the fleet spreads from horizon to horizon. It's a very large flotilla, and it seems to be roughly the same here, but they seem to be at an island.
I just had a thought.
Yeah.
Sure.
Well, we've recently obtained something very important from a particular island.
Oh yeah.
And also, before they got to Bacata, we had obtained something, I believe, from in the ground in Bacata.
Mm.
I forgot what we got from
Oh,
Can you
I
remind me?
think I see what you're going for.
I think they're trying to get the weapons too.
Yeah.
What did we get at the island?
I'll add too. I'll add that it's almost certain that this is not the same island where the halflings are.
Oh.
Yeah.
You've only been at sea for a couple of days, and before, in fact, if you really think about it, you have passed these islands on your way to Hope originally.
Mhm.
How
Okay.
long?
They aren't there for Smash Mouth.
They don't seem to be, or if they are, they're in the wrong place. But that's not to say that they don't have their own reasons.
You know,
Does it
Candy
look
cane.
like I can go, if I'm swimming, I can swim in between the boats and get onto the island without them noticing me?
Almost certainly, if you swim the way that you can, you
Yeah.
know that you can be entirely submerged comfortably, easily,
Yeah.
for a long time. You also know that you may have asked the sailors at one point on your way if you were so inclined or curious. You have sailed by this now twice. Once going towards Bacata, and once away going to Hope. It seems to be almost entirely unremarkable rock. It's nothing. There are no trees, no plants. It's just dead space that happens to not be liquid.
Errata.
They found errata.
That's just secret.
I
home.
look.
But I'm glad you guys can hear me because I
Yeah, there's a lot of background noise, but we can hear you.
I'm so sorry. Hold on.
Sorry, it's okay.
I look at Philbin.
Hmm.
How do you feel about taking out Morningstar?
He says that's kind of why I'm here.
Alright. I gesture to the boats. Pick one.
How about now? Background noise, good, bad, still.
That's much better. Philbin
Let me
says,
know if there's background noise.
"Okay, we'll do.
Bad.
It's okay. Thank you." Philbin says, "All of them? All of them, I guess. Or where's the big one?" And Philbin is trying to see where the Freya is. And he
I don't know.
doesn't seem to be able to see the Freya.
I haven't been able to actually see that one aside from that one time. Oh, maybe we did sink it.
That one time that you were on it. Yeah.
Yeah. Huh, maybe we. That would make a lot of sense because we did kind of put in a lot of work into that one.
It would be convenient, for sure.
Quite handy.
Are there any more of the rear vanguard ships? If there is a way to tell the difference between them.
Well, it looks like they've got various rings of ships, and they seem to be, even while many of them are stationary, many others are still moving around in a constant flotilla, or rather, constant patrol. Yeah, they've got a cap going essentially, and it's likely that as they are moving along, they likely have a revolving ring of ships that are constantly going in and out of the main fleet that are constantly keeping track. And you can see that there are some actively moving and sailing around now. And yeah, I mean, basically, yes.
I tell Philbin, on my mark, we take one of these ships that's doing a patrol.
He nods.
And then I will swim under the water until I get to next to the boat. And once I'm there, I will take out the axe and start climbing.
Nice.
All right, so we're going to take them one ship at a time.
Do you have any ideas? Because
Um,
I can't attack big ships at all at once.
I have a suggestion.
Oh?
Even though I'm not there, I'm gonna tell you. Aladrin is very good at being underwater. And you know what part of a ship is underwater? Their
Yeah.
rudders.
Ooh, I could jam their rudders. That is a good idea.
Or break.
I
I
don't
could
know
also
how
break
they're
the keel.
propelled, but you could probably like get their rudders stuck so that way they can't turn in the direction they want.
Yeah.
Honestly, I'm just surprised that Aladrin hasn't tried to attract sharks and tame them yet.
True.
See,
I've been expecting that. I feel like Aladrin is behind schedule on that particular night.
Speaking of, Philbin would advise you to get at a much lower altitude, assuming you're not already flying at a safe height.
yeah. Once I could see them, I dropped down to 10 feet, 5 feet above the water.
Okay, got it.
I kind of, I want to test Aladrin's strength. I want to see if I'm strong enough to fight
You
against a boat.
splash down into the water.
Yeah, I drop into the water and I go up to the rudder of a boat.
You got about another mile of swimming to go.
Yeah, I'll just swim.
Philbin asks what do you want him to do while you're swimming up there, because he can't go in there, and if he goes over top, he might be spotted. And he says, it never really occurred to me. Not exactly a great idea to have our flying thing to be bright red.
You can dry it off later when we're done. But for now, get in the water.
I can't breathe under there.
The red golden.
Just swim. Hang on to my back.
I don't want to swim. Fine.
Yeah.
He gets off the broom and just clings to you, which makes the travel much more difficult, I'll add. He's basically dead weight.
Yeah. I'll survive. It's even if I'm moving at half speed, I'm at least getting there.
All right.
He's Aladrin.
Yeah.
So, you want to swim the remaining mile to be able to get to the fleet?
Yeah.
I'll remind you,
risk being caught.
With Philbin on your back, you're not going to be able to go under and submerge and hide what you would otherwise be able to do.
Yeah, but it's also better than him, being out in the air on a bright red lobster.
There's some argument to that.
Doesn't Philbin have prestidigitation?
Yeah.
Just change the lobster.
Oh yeah. He could change the color of the lobster.
Or am I just mistaken? Or is that a thing you can do?
I'm double checking that. I don't think that's one of the uses.
Hmm.
You
Color
can
changing.
create a harmless sensory effect. Light or snuff out a candle, clean or soil an object, chill or warm, create flavor, illusions. Yeah, no, you can't.
What's the one that changes color?
I don't know. But with prestidigitation, well, you can do many wonderful and amazing things.
Thaumaturgy.
He's not going to be able to make the red lobster anything other than red, but he would be able to clean it or make it dirty or hide it amongst many other ways. One could argue that making it dirty would, but not really.
I think thaumaturgy is the one that can change color.
Oh, maybe. I don't know.
No,
But
it's not, because it just has like weird eerie effects. They're like kind of religious or ominous.
thaumaturgy is creepy prestige.
You can cause flames to change color for one with thaumaturgy.
Yeah, light it on fire.
Yeah, that'll do it.
Oh my god, it's the god lobster!
Hang on. The weird happened on my side. Sorry, my Discord is closed. Okay, and now it opens again.
Yeah.
Okay, strange.
It wasn't just me.
It just disappeared for a moment,
Weird.
but people were still making noise. So, Aladrin, you can certainly make your way. Are you going towards one of the ships that's actively patrolling, or are you going to go towards one of the ships that is much closer in at the island?
One of the ships that's actually actively patrolling.
Okay. We will come back to that. You all in the cabin that is now, I mean, it smells a little bit like wolf in here. It smells like a lot of dude, like a whole lot of dude. There's a little bit of saltiness from a little bit of crying that's not happening from Mormus. I mean, there's the blast of scorched air from multiple eldritch blasts. It is unpleasant in this cabin. But what were you all doing in here?
I'm gonna
I
step
figured we
outside.
rested, wouldn't we?
I'm gonna step outside, and I have an herbalism kit that I have proficiency with. Can I find herbs that could like help Ormus feel better and possibly help him heal a little faster?
Yeah, you can go, strip some willow bark well, not willow bark, but yeah, you can go ahead and make an herbalism check. And let's go with, because you got proficiency with herbalist tools, right?
For me.
Yeah.
Okay, add that and I guess wisdom for perception? Maybe?
I'd help if I could, since it's for me. I don't see any point in being in these.
So Ormus, if you want to go out and help, I'm assuming you get dressed.
Oh, of course.
Philbin does have
invisibility. The better.
Ormus, basically, Ricky Forrester is a bit smaller than you. I'm trying to look here. Morgan of, Morgan M. Morgan of the Morganland Morgan is a bit bigger than you. Jameson is pretty much a lot closer. He's got fairly simple clothes in terms of kind of close to your size. So you're able to pilfer some of his. And so you're able to get some relatively simple civilian clothing. Not very clean. Smells like he smokes a lot. But whatever. But if you want to go out and
maybe some mint leaves and rub it on myself smell death.
Yeah, with you and Mollymort going out, go ahead and make a roll. Like something to aid with Mollymort. See if you can roll just something in terms of maybe another perception or nature or herbalism.
I'll definitely do perception. That comes out to 18. Everything else is +2.
Okay. Well, you and Mollymort together to find a couple of some decent amount of elements that could be used as some kind of a pain relief. They're not especially pleasant, but they could be made into something that is somewhat numbing.
Okay.
Not great, but better than nothing.
Well, I did
Well, I
roll.
thank you.
I rolled a 26.
A 26?
Yeah.
Good gravy. I thought you rolled a 12.
No.
All right. Yeah. With that, you are able to get not only a something to be able to make a numbing poultice. You're also able to get something that can be mixed in to make a tea that will most certainly relieve some of his pain.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. It might make him a little loopy, but whatever.
He'll be fine.
Yeah. It would help if you had maybe some sugar or something sweet to add to it, but yeah, it'll be fine. Some salt will do okay. But yeah, you're able to make essentially a
Anything inside the
rudimentary.
house?
Huh?
Anything inside the house for sugar?
Yeah, I mean, there's some stuff, but basically, Mollymort, with that full roll, you're able to make what is akin to something decently similar to a kind of medicine beer. Um, not especially alcoholic, perfectly able to be drunk right now. More of a tonic, essentially.
She's a little happier than she should be that it'll make him a little loopy.
Mm-hmm. And it tastes kind of like thin maple syrup, thin, faint maple syrup that, for whatever reason, kind of makes your mouth a little numb. So, whatever, that works. But yeah, it's essentially like
Full one.
a syrup tonic.
Don't remember much of it.
Yeah, if she had added yeast and left it for a couple of days, it would be alcoholic, but it's not. Oh well. But it'll still be somewhat numbing and sleepifying. Theon, what have you been doing while they're doing herbalism, essentially? And I'll add, none of you see guards.
About how long has it been in which don't see guards?
I mean, they spend probably a good 20 minutes finding some ingredients and making this uh, syrupy tonic, and nobody has approached. You don't see anybody doing anything except their normal business in Vineland, and nothing seems to be going on. Nobody coming through the woods. You don't hear any whistles, no dog barking, nothing.
That, I think, is more concerning than hearing them.
Well, maybe we will be fine to stay here. I don't know. What are you guys thinking about this? This kind of sketches me out.
Honestly, too quiet. But we have to take what we can get.
Well, it's possible that Mollymort wasn't. She believes that she wasn't burned. Essentially, she is unknown to them. So it's entirely possible, assuming Panny didn't, give out, which he almost certainly did give out information. But it's entirely possible that Mollymort isn't wanted, or would be especially
He
suspected.
barely remembered me.
Exactly. So Mollymort could be an unknown. That's something. And Fionn, with your ability to disguise yourself, you could potentially hide for who knows how long. Ormus undeniably is wanted and will be remembered for some time. But you noticed when they were picking up the floorboards to get their equipment up, they've got a fair amount of hidden sort of space beneath this cabin. Not that it amounts to a basement, but enough that most certainly, if you needed to, you could hide an elf. You could hide Ormus if you needed to. And there are 3 beds here. Well, actually, significantly more than 3 beds. There's bunk beds. But you could, if you wanted, latch the door, take a rest here, And if somebody starts banging on the door, you could hide Oramus, and maybe even yourself, and Mollymort might be able to talk him out of it. It's not the worst plan, but it's not a great one.
I mean, honestly, I say we go with it.
I need a rest.
Yeah, you'll probably get a better rest here with us having beds. I can, and while he's talking, he cuts his palm and rights his weapon because my weapon has to be ready to use as a spell focus.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll.
They didn't by any chance leave weapons, did they? Sorry, Theon, I didn't mean that.
They left a dagger, 2 short swords, a long sword, and a bow and arrow. A bow and a quiver of 20 arrows.
Okay,
And an axe.
I'll grab those and equip them. Gonna take a long sword and a bow with the quiver.
Well,
if you guys
yeah,
don't mind.
the 2 short swords and the dagger and the bow have been picked up by Theon.
If you would.
I think there's a long sword too. Okay.
There is the long sword. Yeah, so you can pick that up.
Okay, yeah.
If you would need the bow, you are more than welcome to it. I have these swords and I have some spell casting, so.
You're more useful with them than me. I was just kind of like a backup thing.
I will.
I'm more efficient with the sword than I am.
You might have another thought as well. You have no doubt of the loyalty of Utagoro, if you can find him. He's somewhere around here.
Just charge the castle with Utagoro and his army.
Well, I'm hoping it doesn't get that far, but
But if you needed someone to watch, to keep watch, you could trust Utagoro. You think you could, at least.
You need someone inconspicuous like a giant fish man.
Yeah, exactly. Somebody that blends in with a human.
Yeah. The local fish god.
Just throwing it out there.
A god of the lake.
I feel like we just, whenever you guys are ready, I'll cast alarm on the door. That way we'll know if anybody is about to come in, and I'll cast it outwardly. So if they step into the space in front of the door, then you will know before they come in, and we take our rest here.
Should we do a perimeter instead? Can we do that? That way we have small warning, like a little bit more.
Let me check the area on alarm.
20-foot cube.
Yeah.
Okay, never mind then.
So I could set it in front of the door, and we'd know from the moment they set foot within 20 feet of the door.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm kind of worried about somebody coming up to the building, looking in the windows first, like backside.
Well, we can always move the beds to a room with no windows, and cover the windows.
Well, it's a really simple cabin. There's not really. I mean, there's like 2 windows in the main room, but the bedrooms themselves don't really have windows. I mean, this is a really modest cabin.
Draw the drink.
Yeah, so we pull the floorboard up, Oramus. If I get an alarm that someone is coming in, I'll quickly cast my spell. We hide you under the floorboards. I disguise myself, and Molly and I answer the door.
I'm going to slowly hand Ormus my wand of lightning bolt.
With a knowing glance.
Wand of lightning bolts? When did I give you that? Okay, that's fine.
I think that's from Arata.
I know.
Yeah.
I gave y'all so much stuff. Yeah, that's fine.
Wait, does Philbin still have the Staff of the Magi?
I thought Mollymort had that, but maybe.
I don't know.
The flame.
Because that could solve so many problems.
Lightning one.
Possibly.
So Tobin should have it.
What does the Staff of the Magi do?
It is a legendary hitting stick, only usable by like wizards and stuff.
Hmm.
Wizards and sorcerers and stuff.
Yeah, it's got charges that you can expend to do various things.
Yeah.
But what problems would it save in this game?
I mean, he could start blowing stuff up with the staff and save his spell slots.
Yeah, but he could already be blowing stuff up with his spell slot.
The only spell that I can do is very limited because of my verbal components, and then Eldritch Blast, basically.
Yeah, but you're a warlock, so that's all you're doing anyway.
Wow, okay.
Wow!
I mean, that is
How
fair.
often do I use Eldritch Blast? How often? I'm trying to be the non-stereotypical warlock by not using it.
Is that why you're packed with the Fiend?
What?
Is that why you're packed with the Fiend? You don't want to be stereotypical?
Pretty much. But that's actually why I was packed with the blade, actually.
And now he's something entirely different. Well, sort of.
That none of you know.
But yeah, so this wand is 7 charges, and you would be able to cast a lightning bolt. Yep.
It does require attunement.
Yeah, but
Alright, I'll
that's not a big deal.
spend my rest doing that. As well as hoping, no, it's not going to work. And I'm just hoping that I can summon Hellfire.
I think this will be an incredible amount of destruction on this poor cabin if anyone knocks on the door.
Immediately explodes.
Oh god, I gotta see this.
But anyway, so y'all are going to take a long rest?
Oh,
Yeah. Leaving the hidden floorboard panel open in case we have to shove Ormus in.
Mm-hmm. Because y'all didn't really benefit from a long rest. Trying to think. Well, no, actually, didn't you meditate, Ormus?
yeah, my 4-hour meditating rest.
Yeah, you meditated last night. You can't get a benefit from a long rest so soon. And Fion, I think
Nope.
you slept.
Yeah.
It's more, well, in my opinion, it was more for Molly because she's exhausted.
Yeah, she will be able to take a
You
rest.
take a rest, you deserve it.
But you two would essentially just be taking what is effect a short rest. You will not be able to get the benefits of a long rest.
Yeah, I mean, that's fine for me because
We
I
can
just
be
need
outside.
spell slots back.
Okay. Yeah, that
We
works.
can be the watchful eye.
Mm-hmm. Perfectly reasonable. So, you all rest. And take your time. Nobody wants to go out and find Uta-girl? Fine, whatever. Nobody goes talk to Uta-girl. That's okay.
I want to play it safe and make sure nobody's trying to sneakily scout the area to see if they can find a possibly wanted elf.
I hear you. Yep, y'all are taking a rest. That's perfectly fine.
And I do have alarm set up on the door once we're all settled in.
You do.
Going off, actually.
Hmm?
Our neighbors' fire alarms are going off.
Ah, that's not necessarily good.
It's constant. They don't know how to cook, and there's no ventilation in the apartment.
Yeah, fair enough. Fair enough. So, Aladrin, you're
I can
wearing.
benefit from a long rest by tuning. Sorry. Terrible timing on my part.
You don't
But I can
need
use
to.
the long rest.
You don't need a long rest to attune, just a short rest, right?
Is it a short? I thought it was
Yeah.
long.
Pretty sure attunement only requires a short.
Mhm. Yeah, it's only like an hour or a short rest.
Let me triple check. Attunement.
I've been attuned to the same 3 things for ages now.
Let's see. Attunement. To do short rest. Focused on that item and with physical contact with it, wink. And so, yeah, you're able to cozy on up to this bolt of, or this wand of lightning bolts to be able to get that business done. No problem.
The reason why I was questioning it was because I remember last session we were talking about attunement and it was longer than we were expecting. And
it was an hour.
I thought it was a short rest. Yeah,
no, just an hour.
But that was a short rest.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
All right. Aladrin, you are wearing a dwarven cape, and you are trying to be able to swim your way stealthily across an open sea in broad daylight.
Yeah.
You are moving towards a ship that is circling, and because it's able to sail faster than you can swim, although what's your swim speed again?
40 feet.
Okay. With 40 feet. No, not sailing records. Why in the world? Travel speed 5e. I should have looked this up, but I'm bouncing around too much. So I think that these things are able to move faster than you are able to swim as they're going. While the rest of the fleet is much slower, their circling around is faster. And so for you to really get it, you'll have to get ahead of one of the ones that's circling around and essentially be right in front of it while it's on patrol.
Okay.
Do you want to take any effort to hide yourself before this thing comes along?
So how does Sylvan feel about holding his breath?
He's not too happy about that. I mean, he says that he can try.
Yeah. It's only for a few seconds for when they're coming towards us. I'm going to dive down, and he's free to get off and fly up there. I'm going to try and bend the rudder and just force it into a different position.
Mm-hmm. All right. So that's the plan. You're going to try and dive down before you're seen.
Yeah.
And kind of swim under it.
Yeah.
On the assumption that you'll be able to not be seen within about 20 or 30 feet of the ship.
Yeah. I mean...
Yeah, they're doing patrols to look for stuff, right?
They're probably looking for boats, you know? They're probably not looking for random dudes.
Yeah.
All right. Are you making any sort of stealth actions, or are you just swimming as hard as you can?
I'll try and swim stealthily. I don't know how that actually works.
It'll cut you down to about half pace so that you make less of a splash.
Yeah.
Okay.
You're gonna swim the same speed as normal.
Yeah.
A little bit faster still. But...
So go ahead and make a stealth check.
Natural 20 for a total of 20.
Jesus. Of course.
Aladrin is a god. Let's just admit it.
Now Philbin. Okay.
He's just sitting there.
Yeah, he's sitting there on top of you.
Yeah.
He's the thing they'll see. But anyway. All right.
Aladrin, where'd you go?
Meanwhile, there's also a flying lobster, like right on the surface beside you guys.
I don't know why he doesn't ride on the lobster.
Because Aladrin told him to get on his back.
Yeah, I thought he would be pulling the lobster into the water with him.
No, he's just following your lead.
The lobster's half the problem.
More than half, I'd argue, but yeah.
Yeah, it's bright red in the middle of an ocean.
Do you want to leave him behind for temporarily while you swim up?
The lobster?
Well, no, Philbin and the lobster.
Okay.
How fast
You're trying
does
to
the lobster
stop
move?
the lobster goes like 60 feet, like 10 feet a second, like in a turn, something like that.
Okay. And what would be a safe distance to just leave him?
To leave Philbin?
Yeah, because if I leave him with the lobster and I start making a racket, then he can get to me at some point. But I don't want to leave him like a mile out.
Well, yeah, not a mile, but you could just leave him floating, 100, 200 yards out.
Yeah.
It'd be pretty difficult to see if he's mostly below the water. You can make the swim, and you're trying to divert the ship and stop it. So once it's stopped, you can just make a signal, and he can,
Yeah.
or something.
I'll have him stay back at like 500 feet
Okay.
and hope that's enough.
Well, we'll find out.
Don't forget, Philbin can turn things invisible, including himself.
Oh wait, can he?
Yeah.
Oh, then he can just cast invisibility on himself in the lobster.
Yeah, but he can't use that and fight.
It's just to get up to the boat. He doesn't have to stay invisible once we're fighting.
Yeah, and he says he doesn't have to be invisible when he flies up to the boat and fireballs it either.
That's fair.
I mean, yeah, but surprise attack.
He's just, I don't need to be surprised. I'm going to blow the ship up. Doesn't matter if they're surprised about it. They're going to be surprised when it blows up.
That's fair. All right.
That's fair, but then I'm stuck swimming.
He says, okay, and you want me to sail it? You do what?
That's half the point of us getting there at the same time.
He says, I assure you, I'm not going to be much help in a deck.
Yeah, you can blow up a different boat while I'm there.
Well, point out a boat. I'll go blow it up.
Alright, you just do your thing and I'll eventually catch up.
Why don't you guys sabotage all the rudders?
Hmm.
Do it underwater. Just like break all the rudders and try to take off. They'll be like,
Because
you're there.
Philbin doesn't like to be underwater, and so I'm just gonna let him go hog wild.
Well, I guess he could act as a distraction, but honestly, it seems like a better idea that they don't know you're there at all.
Yeah.
But
Wait. So you want Philbin to go sink some other ship?
Yeah, I'll let Philbin sink as many ships as he wants, as long as he leaves just one.
Well, there's a couple hundred, so I don't think that's going to be an issue.
Yeah.
I'd say go start ruining rudders and then release the Philbin when you're like got some
Traction.
Gotta be cut out.
Yeah. I'll take Philbin with me as close as I can, and at this point, you know what? If we're spotted, we're spotted. What are they gonna do? Try and kill us? They were gonna do that anyway. And so once we get close enough, I'll let Philbin start distracting, and I will start taking out ships from the water.
Yes, how you want him to distract? Do you want him to? Because remember, you're at one of the patrol ships, so you're still several hundred yards away from the next ring in, which is still quite a distance from the rest of the fleet. On top of that, like it would be, another quite a while to swim to the next fleet again, and then again. I mean, what do you want him to do? Or you can just let him loose, and he'll do what he thinks is right.
I'll let him loose, and then I'll just take this boat.
Okay. He gets on the lobster, and you can see him skim hard to the right, going behind the watch boat,
Mhm.
essentially circling around the fleet. And yeah.
Mhm.
So you want to swim on in? We'll keep your original stealth roll because it was
Yeah.
too good, and you are able to swim under the water very easily at full speed, completely unknown to them, and get to the hull of this ship and grab onto it and hang on as it continues to move.
I'm going to start climbing because I'm gonna need a boat to get to the rest of the boats.
All right. So you start climbing on this ship. Go ahead and make an athletics. We'll include you using the axe to attack into the side of it as you just drag yourself up.
That is a 16.
All right. You're able to eventually climb your way up, and you're just below essentially the edge of the ship. Any much higher, then you'll definitely wake him up and alert him, so to speak. Any sort of combined attack plan, or you just want to just jump on up and dive in?
Has Philbin done anything yet?
Nope. Not that you can tell.
I'm going to wait for a few minutes to see if Philbin does anything.
Okay.
You know, Aladrin is about as menacing as a horror movie main villain.
Yeah.
So you wait for a couple of minutes. You don't really hear anything. But if Philbin had gone ahead to attack the other fleet, you probably wouldn't either. It's hundreds of yards without
Yeah.
a big explosion or a big spell. It might be a while.
Yeah. Then I will just flip onto the deck
Okay.
and start trying to take the ship.
All right. On deck, you can see roughly the same semblance of individual Marines with shields and spears and sailors. This time they are not really prepared for you to come up. They're a bit in disarray.
Oh, yeah.
But you're not near any of them in particular.
Mhm.
So what would you like to do?
I like that Aladrin is just a one-man, like, platoon.
Yeah.
Kind of terrifying.
Oh, who's at the helm? Is there someone at the helm?
Yeah. Yeah, there's someone at the helm. You don't know them. You don't recognize them or anything. They seem to be just being a normal dwarf, some sort of sailor.
I'm charging straight for them.
Okay. You start, and again, this is one of the. It's a fairly fast but still relatively large ship, multi-decked. So you're able to
Mhm.
run up the steps towards the helm to get there as quickly as you can. And when you get there, what do? You can hear yelling in Dwarvish. Essentially. Well, you don't speak Dwarvish, do you?
No, I don't.
Yeah. So you hear yelling in Dwarvish.
I'd feel bad for killing him, so I'm just gonna throw him overboard.
Okay. Go ahead and make an athletics check to grab onto him.
Are you gonna kill the sailors this time, or just the or just Morningstar?
If they try to kill me, that is a total of an 11.
You're able to overcome his strength as he is very surprised and sees you coming up to grab him. And he starts, yelling loudly in Dwarvish. And you want to walk him over and throw him over?
Yep.
All right. In that process, 8 javelins are thrown at you. So you're able to grab onto him and you start walking over to the deck. As I said, 8 javelins start coming in.
Mhm.
That's a really low number. What am I looking at for AC wise for?
17.
Okay, that's a hit.
Over, turn around, and immediately go into a rage, or
I should be fine for a little bit, hopefully.
Okay.
all right.
One hits you, and one hits the guy you're carrying.
Oh, this poor soul.
Yeah, he's dead. He's super dead as he's hit with one of the javelins, and one does 7 damage to you, 7 piercing damage, as a javelin sticks into you. As apparently some of the orders being shouted were intruder, ready javelins, and so.
Yeah.
What would you like to do? You're now holding a corpse, and you've got a couple javelins laying around. Some of them look to be damaged when they hit, but oh well. What would you like to do?
I will. Are they starting to charge against me?
No, they seem to
No?
be forming a defensive position on the bow of the ship.
Okay. I will run towards them
Okay.
and cast Thunderwave.
Okay. Let's see.
Yeah.
It's a classic. It's
Yeah.
worked pretty well. Let's see. In casting Thunderwave, Constitution saving throws. What's your spell save DC?
With 14, it's not too high. They should be fine.
Okay. Passed. Failed. Passed. Failed. So, of those that were immediately within the vicinity, about half of them passed and half of them failed. Go ahead and roll damage.
That is 11 points of damage.
Okay. That
And
seemingly kills a couple of them, and they're blasted back, right?
yeah, the ones who fail are thrown 15 feet.
Yes. You made quite a hole. Some of them are blasted. Some of them going overboard, but hey, that's not a problem.
Mm.
Yeah. So that worked out pretty well for you.
Yeah.
Let's see if it continues to work out for them.
And as my bonus action, I will rage.
All right. Probably a good idea. The sort of head marine, if one could put it that way, comes forward with a battle axe and tries to hit into you.
You pull out your great act and say mine is bigger, I assume?
Yeah.
He misses with the axe, and then he tries to...
Poor soul.
He tries to bash you with his shield, and fails with that as well, because I'm just terrible at rolling today. Fails with both, but the rest of the individuals seem to be starting to circle you.
Mm-hmm.
What would you like to do?
I will Reckless, Great Weapon Master, attack the head marine.
Go for it.
That is a natural 20.
Oh my god, you know,
Pretty good.
at this point, I like, with the bad rolls against Aladrin and the good rolls from Aladrin, I'm pretty certain they are going to start to believe he's at least a demigod.
It definitely feels pretty, it feels unfair.
So,
I want to win sometimes, guys. I mean, come on.
I kind of feel bad for him because that's 24 just on the crit. And then with brutal critical, that's 25 because I rolled a 1.
Okay.
And then
Wait,
Great Weapon Master is 34.
Don't
35.
barbarians have that thing where if they roll a 1 or a 2, they can reroll damage?
No, that's the Great Weapon fighting style.
Oh yeah, no, my bad.
So that's 35, and then Rage and Strength damage brings it up to 42.
Good gravy. Let me see here. Yeah, he is not in a great shape. You very nearly kill him in one hit.
And then the second attack.
He is
the same,
still alive.
the same modifiers, everything.
Brilliant.
21.
A 21 does hit, yeah.
And so that is 29 points of damage.
Okay, that kills him.
I almost feel like
Oh, go ahead.
I almost feel like Aladrin will soon be known as Aladrin of the Wrath of the Sea, or something like that.
Yeah.
29 damage.
Get it
Jeez.
on
Yeah.
title.
But yeah, he are super dead. You're able to get him in just 2 very powerful slashes.
Like Pirate Aladrin.
And then one of the guards needs to make a save for lightning damage.
Aladrin,
He passes.
the seeking of
Okay.
wrath.
That is 3/2 lightning damage.
Okay. He continues to not die from damage.
Oh, they still take half damage? Damn.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Okay, so they are not happy about this, but they all attempt to attack you at once, essentially.
Understandable.
You are fully surrounded, so there are 7 of them making attacks at advantage against you.
Mhm.
Hopefully at least one of them fucking hits. Okay, I've rolled under 5 like 6 times in a row. Hang on.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it's time for that dice to go to prison.
Yeah, I don't have a lot of options immediately in front of me. Okay,
Kinda.
that's
got a
the
life
better
sentence,
option.
too.
You've got a AC of 17 right now.
Yes.
Okay, that 16 doesn't hit. Nope. And nope. Nope. 4 opponents through.
Oh my god.
5 opponents missed. Haha! 1 hits.
There's one hit.
2 hits. So out of 7 opponents, 2 of them hit. And they all had advantage. They're +4, you know. It's not bad. No, okay, that's just alright, whatever. So you take 5, 6. You take 11 slashing damage. Well, hang on. Actually, it's you technically take you take 6. Well,
Alright.
I'm trying to think here. Well, no, hang on. 6 divided by 3, 5. You take 5 slashing damage
Okay.
because it was the way it's divided. So you take 5 slashing damage from these 2 hits. You've got 7 guys all around you. They're trying their best to not die to you. They're overlapping shields to give themselves as much protection as possible.
Mhm.
Yeah. What would you like to do?
I'm gonna keep cleaving through them. Unfortunately,
Okay.
these poor soldiers. Reckless and
Shame you don't have
weapon
greater
master.
cleave.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is there any background noise?
A little bit,
little
but
bit.
Armus, you're out of the shackles. Oh wait, I just saw that you put that like an.
Yeah. Luckily for them, it's both low rolls.
What'd you roll?
For a total of a 7?
No.
Yeah. And then
Yeah, 7's not gonna hit.
yeah, the second attack is unfortunately another crit. This dice This is the dice that came with the starter set.
Okay.
The starter set.
Alright,
So-
come on.
12, 19 plus 1 is 20 plus 10 is 30, 37.
He is dead. You now have 6 opponents surrounding you.
37.
Okay, so you said 87. I'm like, remind me not to piss you off.
Alright, you continue to stand tall against them and such. You don't surrender yet.
No, one of them does need to save for static electricity.
Again with the static electricity. No, he failed.
So that's a full 5 damage.
Okay. I'll just assign that somewhere within the pool of their hit points, essentially. Grab a couple of extra d20s. Okay. So, the remaining 6 attempt to hit you with advantage again. That's 1 hit. Good numbers. That's a 2nd hit. Much better. 13 plus 4 is 17. That also hits. Double 3s. That does not hit. That's an 18. That hits. And another 18. So, they are able to hit almost every time that time. Much better.
Congrats.
I know, right? I only rolled 1 double 3. Where the heck I put my d8s? There we are. So, you take, and let me get a calculator out, and I'll do the math on this side to give you a total. So you take 7 divided by. You can take. It halves all damage, basically, right? All slashing damage.
Yeah, all slashing damage.
Okay.
Did you
So
already
you
rage?
take
Yep.
7 reduced to 3, and you take 6 reduced to 3. You know what? I'm just going to say that you take 3 damage from all of them.
Okay.
Because it's just going to take too long to roll that other crap. So you take 3 damage from all of them, so that's 18 slashing damage, and that's already reduced.
Okay. That's
Or
fine.
excuse me, 17 slashing damage.
Okay.
Because you killed one. Or no,
Yeah.
not 18. 15. 15 slashing damage, because there's only 5
yeah.
over hit.
Okay.
Alright.
Try. There's so many numbers. There's too many. Kill them.
It's okay. Yeah, I will. Don't worry.
Okay. Go for it again. They continue. They're like yelling in Dwarvish. You know, they don't seem to want you here at all.
Definitely do a charge slash like in Legend of Zelda.
I don't want them here.
Barrel roll?
Barrel roll. Reckless and Weapon Master, because I have to specify that before the attacks.
Yes, you do.
I switched out the dice!
Another crit.
Another crit!
What the holy hell is going on today?
I switched it out. I switched out for a metal dice because I thought, alright, maybe it's bouncing too much because it's plastic. So that's
Keep switching dice. It's working apparently.
12, 22, 32, 39.
39. Okay, yeah, he's super dead.
And then
Now on this one, I'm curious. Like, is it the Great Weapon Master feat, or is it something else?
it is the Great Weapon Master feat, and because of Reckless from Barbarian, that gives me advantage, but they also get advantage on me.
Don't forget to use your bonus action as well.
Yeah. Well,
yeah.
it does give you a -5 penalty to the attack playing that, right?
Yeah, so that would still bring me to a 24 total.
Well, I know, but the crits and all.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine. But the big thing here, too, is that if you score a critical hit or reduce a creature to 0 hit points, you get...
Yeah, I've kind of been forgetting about that because of the bonus action lightning.
Okay.
Isn't it so cleave that you need, or grave cleave?
Well, I'm not applying the only reason normally I would apply cleave rules in a group like this where you would just cut through. The only reason I'm not is because they're specifically in a shield wall, and
Yeah.
I'm not having any of that nonsense.
Yeah.
I need every advantage I can just to break even.
Yeah. And then
If they were not specifically in a shield wall, then I would have you cleave in and do the overload damage to the next guy. But that's the only reason I'm not applying it here. But as long as you know that you could be taking an extra attack and are choosing not to for the lightning, so be it.
Yeah, I think I'm going to start doing that because it's going to be doing more damage in the long run.
Yeah. So you killed him. Would you like to do anything else?
Again, for apparently 2 more attacks now.
Okay, go for it.
I'll
You still have advantage, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's still attacking recklessly.
23.
Hits.
21 damage.
Still alive.
And then for the 3rd attack now, Reckless and Great Weapon Master, and that's a lower number. 8, 17? Yeah,
Nope.
17.
Does not hit.
Okay. See, I can miss once in a while.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm gracious. It's amazing. Let me see what attacks can be done with the remaining 5 of these individuals. As they attempt to smash into you yet again, because they don't seem to have much else as a plan as you just beat your way through them. Let's see. That's a miss. That's a hit. That's a crit. That's a miss. And that's a hit. So 2 hits and a crit. You take yourself some wonderful 24 slashing damage after... Oh no, excuse me. 12 slashing damage after you reduce it. So you take 12 damage after 2 hits and a crit as they continue to surround you, trying to bash into you. And you can hear more yelling in Dwarvish as they realize this is not going correctly. And it is not going well. Your turn.
One guy?
I know, exactly. They're like, what the hell? We're just beating on him. It's not going down.
Is he more of a Rambo, or Bruce Willis, or like Conan?
A Chuck Norris.
I'm definitely thinking more of a Conan.
Yeah, like if Conan and Chuck Norris had a child.
I don't know. I'm thinking this is kind of like T2. I mean, he's getting destroyed like crazy, and then he's just slowly and methodically taking one after the other, they're just mowing him, and he's just kneecapped, essentially. Casually.
I did have the Terminator theme music in my head as I ran at them.
Basically what I'm kind of seeing it as is they're just smashing you with shields and axes and trying to hit you, and you're just going just one at a time, just successfully just cutting them down one after another.
They're like, it's making cuts on his skin, but they're all superficial. They're all too shallow. What's happening?
It looks like he fell off his bike. Like, what the hell is going on?
He's smiling.
Artificially? What? Come on, Aladrin, what are you doing?
Reckless and Great Weapon Master.
Okay, go ahead and roll it.
3 or 2, rather.
Okay.
Well, Aladrin, start rolling or be afraid.
Did I what?
Like, is he trying to intimidate them, or? I don't think Aladrin's gonna be afraid.
Yeah, no. I'm not really trying to intimidate them. It's just, unfortunately, they got in my way.
I'd imagine that would instill just as much fear.
Yeah,
Just dispassionately cutting them down.
Mm-hmm.
yeah. So that is 17 plus 9 is 26. 21 total.
Okay, that does hit.
And that deals 29 damage.
I'm pretty sure that kills him. Let me find the page again. Yeah, he's dead.
Yeah.
Do you mind muting yourself when you're not talking?
Yeah, we're getting a little bit of noise coming in, Ormus, if you wouldn't mind.
Thank you.
Thank you, buddy.
So he's dead. And then for this next guy in the line, I don't think that's gonna hit.
What's the number? You're looking for 19.
Yeah, that's not 19.
Okay.
But for the third one, since one did die, right?
Yep, one did die.
All
Get
right.
yourself another attack.
That hits. That is a 23 total.
That does hit.
Um,
And you're doing the -5 and everything?
yeah.
You rolled a 28 to hit?
19 plus 9, and then
That's just insane.
yeah.
Alright, yeah.
It's the reckless feature from the barbarian, man. It's ridiculous.
Alright, fuck it. Let's fuck the weapons. Let's go fight Tiamat. Let's just put Aladrin at her.
Yeah, I don't know what I'm going to be able to... Granted, she's got a 90-foot wide cone of fire, but I don't think it'll do anything.
Just walk through it.
Yeah.
He just comes out the other side like a fucking action hero.
See, even if I fail the save on Tiamat's breath weapon, which I have advantage against, I still think, unless she rolled really high, I could just tank the damage.
It's true.
Because it's an ancient dragon's breath, which would do like 90 damage. It would leave me with like 20 or 10 health.
Well, roll damage against this guy to see what you're able to do against his health. And we'll see if they've got another plan against you.
That is 14, 21 for him.
Okay. 21 damage does not kill him.
Mhm.
Amazingly. You strike one and they live.
Yeah.
This gives him confidence. You continue to hear yelling in Dwarvish. Go ahead and make, I'm assuming you'll make an athletics check, or you can make an acrobatics check to avoid or break the oncoming grapple as they essentially decide, forget this guy, let's throw him overboard.
Yeah.
I mean,
that
I do though, really.
yeah.
Only so much they can do here.
23, 14 plus 9.
23. And okay, yeah, I rolled 2 3s, a 4, and an 18. And the 18 only gives me 20. So, yeah, with that, they are not able to grab you to be able to throw you over. With that, they will break away and try to run below deck to get away from you. You can make an attack of opportunity if you so choose, as all 4 of them break off of you that are remaining. And they and the rest of the crew are running below deck.
Did he already use his bonus action?
He did use his bonus action, yeah.
No, I missed it.
He used it to make a third attack.
Oh, right, okay. My mistake.
No reckless or great weapon master, but that's still a 28.
Yeah, I don't think you'd be able to apply him.
Yeah.
Yeah, that hits.
That is 16 damage.
Okay. Would you go after the one that's injured or go after?
After the injured one. I
All
want to
right,
put him
he's
out
dead.
of his misery.
Yeah, he's dead. The three of them run back as quickly as they can with the rest of the crew, and they essentially just run below deck and are trying to block the doorway with their shields as best they can to prevent you from coming forward like the unstoppable storm that you seem to be.
He
Oh.
just dispassionately steps over their bodies, I assume.
Yeah. What would you like to do?
Since they're running, I'm going to make my way back up to the wheel,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm going to start turning us towards the nearest ship.
Okay. You know, you're quite a ways out because, again, you're on a patrol.
Yeah,
You're
that's fine.
a long way out. But yeah, you can
Mhm.
start to head towards. Yeah, basically, you can start to head towards the nearest ship,
Mhm.
which is still quite a ways, but you can certainly do that.
Yeah.
Back at the rest that you folks are taking, Ormus, after your short rest with this wand, you could use it as a spell focus, so you're able to cast spells again using this wand of lightning bolts. So that hopefully resolves that. But an hour passes, nothing. The alarm doesn't go off. No one knocks on the door. Nothing happens. Another hour passes. You're able to, if you choose, in fact, have a long rest for Molly Mart. No, you can cast normal. You can. It's a spell focus now. You can use this as a spell focus, so you can cast any spell that you would normally be able to through it. Or you can use it as a wand in this manner and cast lightning bolt through it. But it's a magical item sufficiently. You're able to use it as a spell focus, so you don't need components. Correct, no components. Molly is amazing. So, yes. What would you all like to do, Fionn, Molly, Morton, or us?
I mean, it's kind of unsettling that we have yet to be, hunted down. I mean, do you guys want to just go ahead and
Go
what
on.
was that?
God damn it. I understand that was better with sound,
Do you guys want to just go ahead and go back under, disguises and such?
what were you saying, Pio?
It's a little unsettling to me that we haven't been hunted down, but I guess it's a good thing. Do you guys want to just go
I've got
ahead?
a weird feeling in my gut. I agree with you.
I mean, do you guys want to just go ahead and go back, under disguises and such, and take care of what we need to do?
You know that from the combined information of Malamor, you know that Zora was taken in because you were with her. You know that Arini was taken in. You know that Real went in. You know that all of Ormus's equipment is there, and you know that your weapons and such are there, Fionn. And you really, I mean, it could be something very bad that you might be walking into.
I could scry on anyone, maybe Real first.
Yep, Mollymort could scry.
Yeah, let's do that scry. Do you think we should do Real, or should we accept that we kind of have to cut our losses at this very moment and scry on Zilra instead?
Why Zilra?
Because she was taken in as well.
Make sure she's alive.
Yeah, I feel like Real probably just got the hell out of there, and
Ormus, you
Dormus, yeah,
sound like demonic whispers.
I was about to say it's really creepy and cool. Yeah, we're still sorry, buddy.
but because we're gonna
Any better?
For
yes.
now. Well, it kind of goes back and forth, but don't worry about it.
Yeah.
God damn it.
Because I imagine that.
Whoa, that got worse.
Yeah.
No.
Sorry.
I imagine.
I just did something real quick.
Go on, Fion.
I imagine that Zilra probably is still in captivity. And
My concern is if she's still alive or not.
yeah, honestly the same, but you know,
I can do twice, so I can do both of them.
I mean, I say Zilra first though, because I feel like she's our better bet as to seeing what's going on.
Okay. I'm gonna sit down crisscross applesauce with my jade and platinum encrusted bowl, and I'm gonna pour some salt water into it, and I'm gonna scry.
Okay. Now, did you happen to have salt water, or do you want to mosey on out to the lake? And would normal water work, or does it need salt water?
I mean, I feel like it's she likes the salt water.
I'm sorry, could you say it essential that it's salt water?
I said I feel like she just likes to do it with salt water.
Okay. Unless you have some. Unfortunately, there's not a lot of salt water.
Alright, I guess regular water will do.
Well, okay, how about this one? Did you pour the salt water back into a container that you used for last time?
Yeah, I think I would have.
Alright, yeah, you can reuse that. That's fine. Yeah, you could pour out this probably somewhat stale seawater, but, you know, who cares? It's fine. And you're able to get your bowl, and you want to scry on Zilra first?
Yes.
Okay. And what is your spell save DC? Because you know what? She know likey.
15.
Okay. 15, and you are familiar with them. So that gives her a -5. So
Not have any object from her or anything.
not unless you do. I don't think you do.
No, I don't.
No, you are able to see her. So when you scry through, you see. Well, mission accomplished. You don't need the second scry, because Real is there too.
Oh, nice. And I was gonna do this as a group, seeing, scrying.
Okay, you all are able to see in as Zora and Real are kind of rocking back and forth in time. They seem to be in a carriage of some kind as it bounces along, and they seem to be quietly sitting there. They seem to be alone, and Zora is kind of looking out at the window out of one side of the carriage, while Real looks out the other, his hand on a bow without a string.
I knew it! I knew he had it. Ah, heck. Can I see out the windows by chance? And also, is Real still in his regal appearance?
Yes, and in fact, he seems to have added a hat as well. He looks to be quite fancy.
I gotta say, I have a lot of respect for the man.
Yeah, and as you look out the windows,
He by any
Actually,
chance
he's
doesn't have a
royalty,
weapon
right?
by his side that I might recognize.
well, hang on. What'd you say, Lee?
I said, isn't Real technically royalty being related to Queen?
Yes, he is royalty.
That makes sense then.
In a sense, yeah. You were saying, Ormus?
He doesn't by chance have a weapon by his hip that I would recognize, does he?
Besides the bow of whispers, no.
Okay. Just
No,
making
he
sure he
doesn't.
didn't have a weapon.
He doesn't have your sword. No, he seems to have just taken his prize. But you don't really. The terrain looks very similar to the local area. He's probably on a road someplace outside of Hope. He, if you were to bet money on it, is probably going north the same way you came in to be able to get to the river and then get to the ocean and try to get someplace that isn't here. He might be going south past the lake, or he might be going east. You can't really tell too much. Although, if you want, you can make perception checks through the scrying to try and see if you can discern anything else, or maybe investigation checks.
I can get my dice in just a moment. I gotta get back downstairs again.
I'll
I'll do that in a second.
Let's see, where's my d20? There it is. That's a 28.
Pretty darn good. Molly, what would you?
13.
13? Okay. I think even with Ormus's fantastic luck, I don't think he's going to be able to beat a 28 for, what was that, investigation?
I can always get a nat 20.
Yeah, but even with a plus. But, Fionn, was that perception or investigation?
That was perception. I can, if it was investigation, that would be a 19.
Where are you?
Or no, it would be an unnatural 20, because 19 plus 9 is... Yeah, okay, yeah.
Okay, Ormus?
24 for perception.
Okay.
Wasn't a nat.
Mollymore, while you recognize, or not so much recognize, but while you can see that the area around seems to be of local terrain, that they likely haven't gotten too far, Fionn and Ormus are able to see from the direction of the light of the sun streaming through one of the windows that from the movement they're going, they seem to be going north. So they are likely going on the main road out on possibly even some of the same carriages that you all took on your road to Hope the first time. You know that this is a journey that normally takes 3 days, or could take as many as 5, depending on who's taking you. But that's basically all you can glean. They're just sitting there quiet, looking out the windows, riding along.
So they aren't steering the carriage at all?
No, they're within it. It seems to be actually quite nice, and likely he paid full top dollar. If he paid to go as quickly as possible, you know that he'll probably be able to get to the river in maybe 3 days. And then from there, you know that there are ferries that go to the ocean, and then who knows how long for a ship. But you also don't remember him having a lot of coin, so you don't know what he's paying with or who knows what, but he seems to be dressed up fancy for whatever he's doing, although Zora seems unchanged.
I will tell you guys, I don't remember if I told you or not already. I will make sure to tell you that he put on a fancy disguise to sneak in. So he's probably going of his own volition bringing Zilra.
All right. Well, at least we know that they're safe. And honestly, I feel like we can catch up with them because I don't think he had much coin. So I doubt he's going to be able to afford the fastest. And as far as Zilra's coin, I don't know that she had any accepted coin in Overworld, I guess. I don't know. I know it's called the Underdark. I don't know what they call it up here.
Oh no, they almost certainly did not have currency, but they could barter perhaps with certain trade, or who knows what. Or, I mean, you don't know. You really don't know.
They definitely have money. I'm thinking that possibly something happened. They got them a lot of money, so...
Well, Or Real could have just been bluffing.
That's possible.
Well, he took the bow. Who knows what else he took and then sold?
Well, they assume that they have resources. Probably if they.
I feel like they probably cut some kind of deal with the guard or something because he had a hat on, and if he looks like he's wearing fancy clothes, you know.
Oh yeah, he looks like he's wearing very fancy clothes.
At the very least, he's probably got that hat that belonged to Ormus. The disguise hat.
Maybe.
I wouldn't be surprised if he made friends with the king, honestly.
Maybe. None of you know.
Anyway,
No idea.
going then.
But yeah, so you learned that. What would you like to do next?
Pursue them?
Well, first of all, we need.
We got our rest and everything, right?
Yeah, you've had a rest.
Okay, my main priority, mine, is getting my shit back.
Yeah, I
What do
feel
you guys
like.
wanna do?
I feel like what we need to do is we need to go speak to the queen. However, we need to get that done, and we need to sneak back in, probably sneak into the room where the heart is, because I guarantee you that they're going to go there within the next couple of days.
I was thinking just, go talk to Real.
But what about the situation that we have here? Like, there's.
I feel like that can be handled later. Right now, we can't let him get too far away. He has our boat.
I mean, that's true. I just don't want to leave the mess that we have here. Because what about Irini and Mika and. Well, I guess we don't, we can't do anything with Bahamut until we get Zilra back, so. But we also can't be in the city unless we work this out.
I feel like Irini and everyone will be okay, and they won't be too mistreated there because they haven't actually done anything wrong.
And isn't she close to the queen, so she can pull that string?
Yeah, she could almost definitely get a pardon.
Mm-hmm. I'm not sure what she would even need a pardon for. She's running an unauthorized inn. Who knows? Anyway. But yeah, she is close to the queen. It's possible that she would be able to get assistance for that. So.
I just feel like we have to make sure that they don't get too far away with the bow. And also, we do kind of still need Zilra.
Yep.
All right. So what's your plan?
Zilra's not really even. She was fine to get out too. She was just kind of like in the same spot as Irini.
She's likely being. She's with Real for sure, but she seemed to be content with you all as well. She's probably just going with the flow.
I mean, personally, this is a group decision. Personally, I feel like we need to deal with this because we can't be in the city just walking around doing whatever right now. I mean, Molly, you're fine.
No, but
they
I
don't.
can disguise myself. You can disguise yourself.
Yeah, but my spell only lasts for about an hour. I don't know how. I can probably get in the city, but that's about all I could do. I'd have to hide out pretty much as soon as I got the chance.
Well, Molly, I can't say what we can assume that she doesn't have a banana head. But me and you, once we get in there, then we just need to get close to the quarters I could possibly dimension door us closer to the queen, if not directly into her chambers, and try and talk to her.
Yeah, that's. I feel like the queen can get our stuff back for us. So we should prioritize that, getting to the queen. And Molly is, I. I mean, I know she's associated with us.
I feel like she can
If
get the bow back.
Demi remembers.
Well, fair. Does anybody know that the? I'm speaking in character while I'm asking now a character question again. Does anybody, would the guard have a reason to know that Molly is associated with us? Like, they didn't ever actually see her with us, right?
Or go on, Molly Mort.
Just through Panini.
Yeah, it's possible
yeah.
that Panny may have given descriptions, in which case, maybe, but you don't really know beyond that. But you're not certain that she's wanted all. But you can be pretty damn sure Ormus is wanted, and that you would also probably, they would want to ask you some questions in the least. But you know that Ormus and probably you are very wanted. To your knowledge, Molly Mort is a maybe, but that's it. But unless Real and Zora broke off, of course they weren't seen by Panny. You don't really know.
Honestly, I feel like they're probably not too aware of other races here, so I could probably pass off as a human child.
That's possible.
That's fair.
Just make some alterations to my appearance and stuff.
Worst case, too, I can always just go invisible.
That's certainly helpful.
And Fionn, you can disguise yourself. So you have three, the three of you have means possibly to be able to walk around town at least for a little while, relatively unnoticed.
Yeah, you can get us close, vamping. If need be too, like Molly could go to Irina's house, tell her that we, we're waiting by the heart or something, and I don't know, spitballing here.
It's always a possibility.
We have options.
So what sort of?
She doesn't have resentment toward us.
So do y'all want to take a week to think about it, or do you want to start on a sort of plan of action that you want to focus on to start doing next week?
Honestly, I kind of would like to take the week.
All right, you all can plan a bit and see what you want to do.
Honestly, I very strongly feel that we should go after the bow first.
Well, like, the thing is like, I feel like before we would be able to get information by going in and speaking to the queen, because I feel like she's got a hand in every pot. And she would know why it seems that they're being, parted off in luxury.
Plus, Molly Mort, with your ability to scry, that can help you pretty tremendously. You know that the boat, the ride on the ship here took months, and you don't know how long it would take for him to get home. It could take a month. It could take several months to maybe even a year. And if you're following him every step of the way, you might have a lot of opportunity to be able to hopefully catch him at some point. Just putting that out there.
I still feel
we
like
might be able to find somebody who could teleport us to him too.
Exactly.
That's true. Gosh, but we don't have Philbin.
Or Jacob.
Not yet.
You might be able to get him back at some point.
Yeah, the more we talk about it, the more I feel like tracking them down is gonna be the first step.
So, but I mean, it's whatever you guys want to do, but you can take the time for that. But yeah.
I mean, 'cause
Anyway.
even without my equipment, I have terrible AC. My weapon, which was a gift from my patron, don't be angry about that one.
Yeah, he's probably not going to be happy.
Yeah, that's why, like, I am prioritizing myself to get my stuff back.
Mm-hmm.
That makes sense.
Like, it's just in character, like greediness, like selfishness. Like, I gotta get this back. I am dead shit if I don't get this back.
Which is the kind of guy that Ormus is, and that's entirely fine. But you all can think about that, talk amongst yourselves if you like, and you can make up a plan of action, and we'll vote on it, or you can vote on it, or whatever next week, and we'll decide that. But Aladrin, as you turn towards the main fleet, and are hopefully you start to slow down pretty tremendously because there's no crew on deck to be able to adjust the sails to the change in direction. And you're able to, you're not dead in the water, but you're not going as fast as you would want.
Yeah, that's fine.
And as you are turning towards, you can see just out of the corner of your eye, and you're able to look as the upper part of a deck of a ship just erupts in flame.
There's Phil.
There's Philbin.
Yeah. So something's happening. We'll see how that goes. All right, we'll go ahead and cut that this week, and we will pick it up next week. Everyone able to make it next week?
Yep, should be.
Yep,
Should be good.
that should be fine.
Yeah.
Cool.
Give me trouble.
Alrighty. GG.
All right. Catch you guys later.
All right.
Yeah. If anyone is curious,
Mm-hmm.
oh no, I don't want to say it. I was really clever with something, but I don't want to spoil it in case anyone else notices it or comes up later. So never mind.
Well, now I'm curious. You can't just do that. That's mean.
I know, but I gotta play with all the cards behind. I can't show all the things yet because it's still in play.
Yonder, it kills me when somebody says they have a secret and I can't know it. Like,
No, it was just something that was incredibly funny to me. But hopefully it'll come up another time because I don't know. Never mind. Anyway, but
Does it have to do with Aladrin?
no, not Aladrin. No, Aladrin is a pretty straightforward situation of him slowly working through this entire company and me desperately trying to find an NPC that can stand in the way. It's like, this one's more powerful. I'll give him more abilities. Nope. Okay. A lot of that has to do with my rolling too. It's just an obscene amount of 8, 8, 7, 15. Okay. It's not so bad, I guess, but overall, anyway. But yeah,
I was waiting for that. Oh, there's a nat 20.
No, I mean, I landed a couple 20s in there, but Aladrin just slowly and methodically cutting them down one by one as they are desperately attacking with everything they have. It's just like, how the hell do you stop this thing?
I just heard killing in the name of the whole time he was rampaging in my head.
They were desperately trying to throw him overboard. Like, this is getting to be a thing.
Aladrin is no man.
Funny enough, I had happy
He's a
movement for mine.
force.
Aladrin was a stone pillar when they tried to move him.
Well, so far, he hasn't allowed any survivors, so they haven't been able to, work together to make a strategy to beat this unbeatable dude. So every time he's confronting one, I'm like, okay, let me try a different strategy that's not necessarily great, but it's okay, because I'm not letting them, like, it's Aladrin the Great. Let's get some, Aladrin the Unstoppable, Aladrin the Bloodless. Let's get the Molotov cocktails. But no.
I would like to say that initially he tried to throw somebody overboard and he got killed by the other people. So he is not lacking mercy.
Yeah, it's not that he's not lacking mercy, but in a sense. But to be fair, he was just a sailor, and so Morningstar soldiers didn't give a crap about him.
Yeah. I don't
At
know
least
if
his
these
conscience
guys
is
are going
clear
to
though,
survive.
because he didn't want to kill him, but he still died, but not by his hand.
Mm.
In his arms, yes.
What is that?
I don't know if these guys are going to die with the rest of my plan.
Oh dear lord.
We'll
Because I'm
see.
going to just use this boat as a battering ram.
By
Which
the
these ships are made to ram.
Yeah.
this
But the question is, how many ships can it go through?
Yeah. You're saying, Molly Mort?
this session is probably going to be hard for Fion to edit because of Ormus's audio issues, and I feel like a good amount of the
Oh, dear.
conversation was going on in chat.
Yeah.
Well, I have it. Yeah, I have it set up to where it monitors the chat, and I switch back and forth between the dice rolling. And as far as the audio issues, I'll just run it through Audacity and clean it up a little bit.
Yeah.
Alright.
Just been all over the place. Ain't no
Next
big.
week, I'm just gonna bring my really big,
Yeah.
good headphones for gaming. That hasn't failed me yet. Knock on wood.
Yeah.
Well, one of these days, hopefully, we'll get a good working solution.
Yeah.
You know, for your sake.
Until then, I'll see you guys next week.
I have no problem
Indeed.
Yeah.
playing.
Next
We'll catch
time.
you guys next week.
Good headphones.
Shattered Worlds Abridged.
Oh man, I just watched the Helsing Unlimited abridged.